Well, hello there, my stamping friends. Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers, and I have a fun fold project to share with you for today's Make It Monday projects. So those of you who have followed me right along know that I'm in about my 5th month of my fun folds. I do 2 each month, and I offer kits in the mail. So if you've already subscribed, you've received your kit for this month's 2 templates and the practice kits that go with them. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how to cut all your materials for this particular fun fold today on the video, and then I'll put one together using the Hues of Happiness Designer Series paper as my embellishments. So you can just follow right along with me. You can also visit my blog to find more information about this particular fold and this project. So all my links are below. You can also follow me here on YouTube. Just hit the subscribe button, and when I post a new project, you will be notified. So let's go ahead and get started. So this one is actually a really simple one. This is called, I call it the stand-up fold. So you can see it's just one piece of cardstock, right, creased in various places. I'll show you that. And then when you're done, it'll stand up on its own. All right, so if you put some really fun embellishments on the front, it kind of stands up for a display. So I really like it, and it's simple to do, and you can really decorate any way you want to. So let's just go ahead and get started. So if you have my template, right, the pre-made template that you received in the mail, on the back you've got all of the cutting and scoring directions there. You also have a printed out template that you can stick in a folder, if that's how you keep them, that give you the step-by-step instructions and the measurements. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my paper trimmer in, and we're going to get started. Okay, so for my project today, we are using Melon Mambo as my base color. And the first thing I'm going to do is cut it in half. So I'm going to take my 8.5 by 11 and I'm trimming it down to 5.5 by 8.5. So just a half sheet of cardstock for this one. And then I need to score it. So I'm going to use my other blade. I need to score it. Now I have it on here as 2, 3 1/8, 5 3/8, 6.5. Or you can do 2 inches and 3 1/8 from each end. So whichever way you prefer it. So I'm going to go in here 2 and score, and then I'm going to push it to 3 1/8 and score. Make sure I'm up there flat, 3 1/8. Straighten that out a little bit. Then I'm going to push it to 5 3/8, 5 3/8, and then I'll go all the way over to 6.5. Okay, so I've got my card and I've got score lines all in here, 4 different score lines. Okay, so when we get ready, we will use our bone folder to crease those. But you can see it folds in like this, right? The back folds together but doesn't overlap, and the front folds so it pops out, so it kind of pops up like a 3D card. Right, there's the fun fold piece. Okay, so there's that. Now we have to do our DSP layer. So I'm going to use this piece of Hues of Happiness. I like that it's kind of the rainbowy stripe and it's bright. It's got both the Melon Mambo, and I really like this Granny Apple Green, so I'm going to keep that. So I need to trim this down to 5 1/4. So I'm going to go here, 5 1/4, and I'm just going to trim that off. Okay. So I trimmed off most of the Melon Mambo piece, but that's okay because I've got the hue going up to that, and it's going to be the base color, so it's going to pop. Okay, so then there's my 5 1/4. Now I need 2 at 1 3/4 and 1 for the center at 2. So if you had a pattern where it was continuous all the way across and it really mattered, you'd want to cut them at 1 3/4 and then 2 inches and then 1 3/4 so that you have it. This pattern is going to be forgiving, so it's not going to really matter. So I'm going to cut the first one at 1 3/4, 1 3/4. Okay, there's that one. Then I put my paper in. I'm going to go ahead and cut it at 2. This would be my center panel, so if your pattern mattered, this is how you want to do it. 2, and then I'm going to put the next one in and get 1 3/4. Come on, YouTube, come out. Okay, so I've got my 3 panels that go across the front. And then I've already cut my whisper white that goes on the back, which is just 2 by 5 1/4 again. So the center ones are the same size. Okay? All right, those are all of our parts and pieces for this particular fun fold. So then you just put it together, which is really simple. Okay, so I've got my base that I did again on the Melon Mambo, and I'm just going to go ahead and use my bone folder and crease these so they're nice and crisp. Make sure they're square. And then on the other side, do the same thing. Okay, so there's my fun fold when I stand it up, or if you're putting it down like that. Then I kind of usually flatten it out a little bit while I'm working on putting these pieces on. So these I'm just going to put on as my backgrounds. Just like that. So I'm just going to use my liquid adhesive. Keep everything kind of flat here. Now, my center embellishment that I'm going to end up putting on it is going to have a lot of body to it. So that's another reason I want to keep these kind of tame and flat. But when you make your own card, right, you can do whatever you want. If you want to really put some embellishments on these edge pieces, or if you want to do some stamping with sentiments, that's a great place to put the sentiments out on the sides and put a real focal image on the front. So when it's your card, you make it your way. No, there's no right way of making a card. Okay. So there's my 3 sections. Okay, so I said I was using Hues of Happiness to do my embellishment. Okay, so this is where you're going to start thinking about your focal point on the front. So I've die cut myself from Stylus, my Stylus shaped dies, a largest circle there. I have that. I've chosen to use the sentiment from In the Moment. I really like this set, not just the images, but I also like the greetings. And I'm using the You're Always So Good to Others, Be Good to Yourself Too. So I thought this was bright and cheery. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment on my large circle. So that's going to go here. Now, pay attention, I'm not adhering anything yet because I want to play with my elements before I decide exactly how my card's going together. But that's the only stamping I'm going to do, is I'm just doing the sentiment. So that's done and I put that ink away. Okay, so now what I've done is I've already die cut with the from the DSP with the coordinating dies. Okay, we have some of the papers in the DSP, which remember they're retiring soon, into the catalog. And I've got myself 5 flowers out of this DSP. Well, okay, 4.5, because this one was on the edge, but the way I'm gonna put it on the card, you're not gonna realize it's an edge. And then I have this other piece of designer series paper, and I just wanted the green leaves. See, this is the back, and so I've die cut 3 leaves so that I can use them as embellishments. Now, if you don't have the dies, but you have the paper, use your paper snips and trim them right on out, right? It doesn't have to have the dies. Use what you have. So there's this. So I'm going to start just kind of putting these on, right? I'm going to build around my sentiment with these flowers and leaves, kind of overlapping. And I'll bring this around a little bit more. And then I've got my smaller ones to fill in, and then I'll put the green ones in between. Okay? So, I kind of understand what I'm going to do there. I'm going to go ahead and put this one down first. And now, I know I always tell you don't put your liquid adhesive on like that, but I'm going to this time because I don't want it coming on the back side, because when I put that down I want this to be freestanding. So I'm putting this on like that. I'm going to go ahead and add dimensionals on the back of my greeting here. Again, I actually think I'm going to put them on just like this. Peel this off. Because if I put adhesive on it and it gets too far on the edge, it's going to make everything stick down. So we'll just build it like this. Maybe move it over a little bit more. See? Make little changes as you go. Okay, so there's that. So now I'm going to go ahead and add these flowers. Now I just put it on the edge, and I'm going to put this edge in like this. You could continue to use dimensionals if you wanted to, if you really wanted to give it some pop. Okay, and then this one's going to go up here. So again, I'm just going to add some adhesive here, and then push it down with a little pinch from the front and the back. But you see how it's gonna, the focal image is really gonna pop up for me. All right, let me go ahead and add some of these green leaves, just for a little bit of contrast. So that's gonna go down first. And this one I'm gonna put right in here. So I'm gonna put my adhesive there, and then I'm gonna roll this in, kind of tucking it behind my circle and around my flower. Okay, this one I'm going to put on with a dimensional. Actually, I'm putting it on with a scrap of a dimensional, but that's okay. Use all those edges. Put this in there like that. This one I'm also going to pop up. Got kind of different heights going on here. Okay, and then this one I'm going to tuck right in there, so I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on the edge there. I'm going to push that in behind my layers. Okay, make sure you don't have adhesive on the outside. And there we go. There's my card using the sentiments from In the Moment and the papers from Hues of Happiness, and I've made my fun fold. So there you go. And then you could add more embellishments if you wanted to, whatever you want to do. And then on the back side, we've got our white, just our basic white. And I'm going to put that in the center, and then you either stamp another sentiment in there, or you could write your message in there for the person you're giving it to. And then they can display the card sitting on a bookshelf or a mantle, however they want to do it. And they'll know that it came from you. So there you go, guys. So from start to finish, you get your supplies, you follow your template, right? Follow your template instructions, cut all your supplies, and then build up your card. So I hope you liked today's project. Remember, you can subscribe to both the class in the mail, the YouTube channel here, or my newsletter. All the links are below. Visit my blog, leave me some comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I hope you give this one a try. All right, guys. Have a great day. Do some fun stamping, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.